Hello everyone and welcome to this short lesson on AWS Web Services. My name is Matthew Eddy and today I'm going to be talking about horizontal and vertical scaling and the differences between the two. I'm going to show you a quick demonstration on how we can achieve both forms of scaling using AWS Web Services. So let's get started. First, we'll start with vertical scaling. Now, with vertical scaling, we scale by increasing the capacity of our compute resources. So let's see an example. I'm inside of the AWS Management Console. I'm on the EC2 instance page. Currently, I have an instance called App Server that's running a T2 Micro. So if I want to increase the capacity of my App Server, I can simply click on this Actions button here, then click on Instance Settings and change the instance type. Currently, it's a T2 Micro. I'm going to change it to a T2 Medium. Down here, you can see an instance comparison between the Micro and the Medium. You can see the price, the memory, storage, and the CPUs. Let's go ahead and apply. And now when I restart this app server, it will be running with the T2 Medium. Now we can also achieve vertical scaling with our serverless services. Let's head over to a Lambda function that I have created. And when I want to scale this Lambda function vertically, we can do that by increasing the memory for our Lambda function. So you just click on Configurations, General Configurations, and click on this Edit button here. Currently, the memory is set to 128 megabytes. We can change that to 1024. Hit Save. And now we have scaled our Lambda function vertically. Next, let's talk about horizontal scaling. With horizontal scaling, we scale by adding more computers to the system. So let's see an example. Back over here on the instances, I'm going to create a auto scaling group. So I'll click on Create Auto Scaling Group, call my auto scaling group ASG1, select the launch template, click Next. I'll select two availability zones, 1A and 1B, hit Next. Scroll down, hit Next. Now for group size, this is how many computers we want in our system. Currently, I'm going to set the desired or leave the desired capacity set to 1. My minimum, I'll leave to 1. This is how many computers we want for our auto scaling policy. Now my max, I'm going to set to 2. For my scaling policy, I'm going to select target. Metric type, I'm going to leave it set to CPU utilization here. For the target value, I'm going to change that to 25. Scroll all the way down to the bottom, hit Next again, hit Next. Scroll all the way down to the bottom and create the auto scaling group. Now what's going to happen is that this auto scaling group is going to create a EC2 instance with the launch template LT1, which launches a single T2 Micro. Let's head over to our instances and refresh. We have the one stopped here, and this is our web server that our auto scaling group has just launched. Okay, so what I'm going to do here to simulate the auto scaling group to launch another instance is that I'm going to connect to this web server and I'm going to run a stress test on this web server. Once the CPU utilization on this web server reaches a certain percentage, it will launch another web server. So first we have to wait for this instance to become available. Okay, wonderful. Our web server is now available, is now up and running. So we can go ahead and connect to our web server. And now I'm going to paste in a command to run the stress test. Okay, we're going to let that run for a second. I'm going to go back over here to our instance page. And now we're going to wait for this, or wait for our auto scaling group to launch another web server. And as you can see here, here is the ASG1, the auto scaling group that our web server was launched from. Okay, so our auto scaling group has launched another web server. As you can see here, it is initializing web server 90E. And if I was to click on this web server here, you can see that it is from the same auto scaling group. Okay, wonderful. Now we also can achieve horizontal scaling with our serverless services. So let's go back over to our Lambda. Horizontal scaling is achieved through concurrency. So I'm on the configurations tab and I'm going to select concurrency. Now, as long as you have the correct or the proper concurrency provision for your account, your serverless services or your serverless functions will scale horizontally. So to simulate that, what I've done here is I've added some code to this Lambda function. And what this Lambda function will do is that it will wait 20 seconds before it responds. I'm then going to open two different browsers or two different browser tabs, and I'm going to send a request to this Lambda function through the means of a function URL. This is going to cause my system to scale horizontally, adding not just a single Lambda function, but another Lambda function for the other tab. So we can go over here and test this out. I'll just refresh this tab here, come back over here and refresh this tab. Then I'm going to go over to my Lambda function. And we're going to be looking for total concurrent executions. So let's give it a second to for the data to register. Okay, so the data has registered, and if we look at our total concurrent executions, we can see that we have two concurrent executions representing two different computers within our system. All right, and so again, if you have any questions, definitely research the AWS documentation as well as other websites and blogs. As always, take care.